Hotel World, welcome back to the Chosen Few channel. I'm your host, Matthew Daniels, the writer, author, scribe, and bookworm. But I'm not just a bookworm, world. I am the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory, family, never die. Y'all saw the title of this one. Yes, we have something special going on the Chosen Few channel. You saw the title. We're going to be talking about the realest novel ever, Suicide Note, by none other than yours truly, Matthew Daniels. We talking about the realest novel ever, Suicide Note, by Matthew Daniels. Now I want to talk about my book, Suicide Note, today. Just a little bit. We're not going to talk about the whole book, but I want to just give you guys a treat and let y'all into the mind of a scribe when I was actually writing one of my books. The first book, in fact, that I got published. Now, this book is an urban fiction novel. That's why I say the realest novel ever. Now, the mind state that I was in when I wrote this particular book is key. I wrote this in prison. You've heard me say this before, family. I wrote this book when I was in prison for the second time. But it was during this stint in prison when I realized, family, that I had to change my life. I realized that I had to change my life, and I got back to one of my first loves, which was writing. I got back to one of my first loves, which was writing, before I got off track. So the book Suicide Note, what it actually is the first book I wrote while I was incarcerated. Was a book called Too Deep. I called it Too Deep because I had my real close friend, my best friend, a guy named Mike Venners, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Me and him was so close growing up. Right? We got into everything together. As a matter of fact, when I went to prison the first time, I went for a robbery. Me and him, we both got locked up together on the same case. I ended up getting 5 years. He ended up getting 7 years. But when I eventually got to the point, like I say, where I changed my life, I'm writing these books. The first book I wrote was called Too Deep, because it was about two friends, me and Mike, in too deep in the streets, and it ended up bad for us. So I was playing with the name Too Deep. And so I wrote it, I completed it, I still have it to this day. And so I continued to write. So after I wrote several more novels, when I was about to write Suicide Note, what I actually did is I basically took some of the plot of Too Deep, and I revamped it and made a Suicide Note. So like in Suicide Note, when it begins in the introduction, and I'm saying, you want to know what I hate? Well, the main character, AB, he is saying, you want to know what I hate? Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it for you. I'm gonna read the introduction. And so I want you to see how I really kind of put my mind state into the beginnings of Suicide Note. The introduction to Suicide Note reads, you want to know what I hate? I hate people that try to make it seem like the ghettos, projects, and poverty-stricken neighborhoods across America is all that. They want you to believe that if you weren't raised in the slums, then you missed out on some hell of an experience. I hate when people brag about how hard they had it, as if being born a victim of oppression is a badge of honor, as if going to the penitentiary was a rite of passage that welcomed youngsters into the wonderful world of adulthood. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's a beautiful thing whenever someone, boy or girl, finds the strength to overcome the madness and excel to new heights. I just think that a lot of the movies and books and songs coming out today tend to generally depict a born with less but hustle my way to the top type of story. Everybody can't be Scarface though. The odds of that happening are slim to none. The majority of ghetto babies end up just like me. But since my story doesn't have a fairy tale ending, no one wants to tell my story. They figure it's too graphic, fucked up, and filled with a sense of hopelessness. Reality is reality though. For a lot of us, life's a bitch. No matter how hard we try, setbacks and failures are all God has planned for our existence. I would say that I hate God too, but what good would that do? I've never seen him, heard him, or spoke to him, so really, he doesn't owe me shit. On the cool, I'm not sure God even exists. I guess I know in a little bit. Oh, I ain't told you, I just took 32 Xanax pills straight to the head. And on top of that, I just swallowed 3 grams of dope. Ha, 32 Xanax pills, 3 grams of crack. That's all the drugs I had after busting my ass trying to come up in the street game. What an empire. Ha, what a fucking empire. Well, I guess I better fill y'all in on how I got to this point before my heart busts. Like I said, don't nobody want to tell a story like mine. So fuck it, I tell my story myself. Just consider this little narrative as my suicide note. Hey, I like how that sounds. Say, whoever finds this tape recorder after I'm gone, do me a favor. If they do make a movie or write a book about my life, make sure that they use that as the title. Suicide Note. And so boom, I go into the book, Suicide Note. You feel me? But really, that's really where I got to in my life. Now, don't like what I was trying to explain is I had got tired of the idea that there was some glory to be had from this foolishness that was causing me to ruin my life. I had to see it for what it was. And so that's why the cover of the book matches a tattoo that I have on my back. That's me sitting on my own tombstone. I'm symbolizing being dead to my old self, being dead. So a new me, a better me can be born. Suicide note. Somebody is dying. Who is that is dying? But this is an urban fiction novel, but there is layers to it. So the book, when the book jumps off, what it's really about is AB. He young. He like 15 years old. He out of Dickinson, Texas. Dickinson, Texas is a couple of about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes up the street from where I live, Tech City. When I was writing my novels, I was making the settings in the cities that I live in. So the main character AB, he from Dickinson, Texas. He got a close homeboy, his partner named Steele. They be out there, they hustling together. They whole idea is to try to hustle their way out of poverty, right? Hustle their way out of poverty. Still, he kind of more gangster. He kind of more about that action than AB is. He always ready. Now AB, he's ready as well, but he not like Steele. AB is more of a thinker. He's more of a hustler. He is really the one that's planning, hey man, if I can do this in 5 years, I can get out of the street. So he got a plan. He got a plan that he been working since he was about 13. See, he don't know who his father is. His mother is on drugs. You know what I mean? He got a little sister that still stay with his mama. He kind of stay with his mama too, but you know, he out hustling. He making a little money. So you know, he in the streets, and he been in the streets for a long time because his mother been on drugs his whole life. That's why he don't know who his daddy is. His father was a John. His father was a John of his mother. So A, B, and Steele, what they would do, they would go to some projects, right? They would go to another projects on the other side of town, and they would do what we call short stopping down here, where they would hang out outside these projects, and when they'll see cars pulling up to buy some work, they'll be in the bushes or something like that. They'll jump out, try to run to the car, hit the lick, make the sale before the sale can go inside of the projects and knock on the door of the dope house, the drug house that they're trying to go to. So they out there doing this. They know it's dangerous, but they some hustlers. They out there trying to get that money. So one night, AB leaves Steele out there by himself to go hit $100 lick. While Steele is out there, some crazy stuff happen. You can get the book, read the book to find out, but some crazy stuff happens. So when AB get back, Steele is there, laying in the bushes. He bloody. AB think he dead. He grabbing on him, blood everywhere. He yelling, he screaming. He don't know what to do. The stain that brought AB back is this white chick, this older white chick. She's there, so she like, oh my God, what's going on? Is he dead? Is he dead? They rush him to the hospital. You feel me? They rush him to the hospital, and I'll tell y'all what happened after they went to the hospital in part 2 of the realest novel ever, Suicide Note by Matthew Daniels. If you want to get this book, I'm telling you, you can go to dandyandbigherm.com. That's my wife's website, dandyandbigherm.com. All of my books are on there, but you can go there, you can order Suicide Note, right? Order Suicide Note, or you can go to amazon.com, just type in Suicide Note by Matthew Daniels. You can go to barnesandnobles.com. You can go to walmart.com. You can really go to almost any online site that sell books, type in Suicide Note by Matthew Daniels, and it's gonna pop up. If you want an autographed copy, you can go to their website, dandyandbigherm.com. That's you buying it directly from me. All of the proceeds go to me, no middleman. So y'all go purchase that book. This is part one. Hey, let me know how y'all think about that. Let me know how y'all feel about it, man. The realest novel ever, Suicide Note by Matthew Daniels. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka I'm Pooh, aka the Chosen Few, aka the real bookworm. But I'm not just a bookworm, world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory, family, your memory never die. Hotel.